or shrimp or plate of shrimp out of the blue, no explanation. No point in looking for one either. It's all part of cosmic unconsciousness.
Hello and welcome to CirclemakersTV, and I'm your host Matthew Williams, and in the other seat over there we've got Agent S. And tonight's guest on the show, we're going to bring them up now because it's dead on time, and I said I was going to bring them at 8, so I'm forgetting to do things already, but we're nearly there. So you go, yes, if you do that. Now I should be able to hear them, but what we're going to do is we're going to set it so that nobody else can, apart from me. But let's see if they're there. So, are you hearing us? Right. Okay. We'll bring you in a second. Then I'm going to fade you up. But right on the show tonight is our guest Nick Pope, who's he's now sort of not working for the MOD, but we all remember him from his times when he was famously working on the UFO desk in the Ministry of Defence, and he's had a lot of investigation sort of things to do with UFOs, but also it's gone into other areas such as crop circles, which a lot of people thought for many years had a UFO connection. So we'll go across to Nick in a second, but we'll just do the formalities so people can understand how to interact with the show. Basically, we've got a website on CirclemakersTV.org, which is CirclemakersTV.org. So if you go to www.CirclemakersTV.org, you'll get all the information you want about this show. If you want to Skype into the show tonight, you can install the Skype software. I would recommend doing that sooner rather than later. And give yourself a Skype test call, because otherwise you won't know whether your mic's not working. And there have been several times we've had blank callers on the show, so we don't want that tonight. Right, CirclemakersTV is the name you need to add to the contact to get us. And don't forget, in the lower half of your window where you're watching the video, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a white area with lots of people's names in, and you'll notice that people are chatting and texting the program via that window. Now, if you notice up in the top right of that window, there's a little set of arrows. If you click there, that breaks away, that little chat window breaks away, so you can then scroll back up and watch the program, and you can have the little chat window open at the same time, and you can type in whilst watching the program. So that's how you do it. So do get active in the chat channel. What we do ask as well is if you want to direct a question towards our guest Nick, or to me, Matthew, or to Agent S, if you type it in capitals before you actually ask your question, it helps us to look through all the myriad of questions that are there, and we can just pick out the ones that you want us to ask then, rather than just comments from persons in the channel to other persons in the channel. Okay, so without further ado, I think we should introduce our guest. So, on the line, can you hear us, Mr. Nick Pope?
Yes, I can indeed.
Right, and now somebody will probably tell us in channel if they can hear Mr. Nick Pope. So, tell us if you can hear Mr. Nick Pope in channel, and whether we're coming through, the audio is coming through okay. But I think they probably are, so we've got it right tonight for once. So, thanks very much for coming on the show, and we're sort of ringing you in London at the moment, which is where you live. So, would you like to tell us how long you were working for the MOD?
Yes, I worked for the Ministry of Defence for 21 years, and between 1991 and 1994, I was on MOD's UFO project. So, obviously, I think people sometimes have a little misconception that I spent my entire career on that. For most of the time I was working for the government, I was working on other things. I worked in the Joint Operations Centre. I worked in finance jobs. I've worked in policy jobs, briefing jobs. My last post was in the Directorate of Defence Security. So I had a very varied career. Obviously, I suppose I'm best known to the public for having done the UFO job, but I now, and I've been out of the Ministry of Defence since 2006. I now work as an author, journalist and broadcaster, and I commentate not just on UFOs and the unexplained, but conspiracy theories, space, science fiction, fringe science, a whole range of different subjects.
Yes, and which fashions are popular this summer for UFO researchers?
Indeed. Well,
yes. Haven't quite got onto that one yet.
No, not quite yet, but that doubtless will be next.
Right, good. I'm glad. We need some help. We're a sad bunch. We're not wearing the right fashions this year, I think. But anyway,
I think anoraks and tinfoil hats are out. That's very cliched view. Actually, night vision goggles are probably the in thing at the moment.
There you go. Well, I'm definitely ahead of the game there because we can't talk about my night vision goggles, but I have got some. It's a little in-joke with the show. So, yes. I told people I didn't want to talk about it, so now they ask me every week about my night vision goggles. It's one of those things, you just can't get away with it. If you hint at something, they never leave you alone after that. So, we've got a lot of people actually who are in our chat room, and what we'll do is we'll ask the questions that they're posing to you. And what I like to do is just read out the names very briefly and say hello to those people. So we've got Bluestone, Circle Thoughts, Darthy, GBZ is a good one, Gonads, Gordy, Happy Stomper, Hedge Dread, Cannabis, Keith Walklin, Monad, Plan 9, Roger CCC, Stuart Dyke, you probably recognise that one, and Sunday Girl.
Why is no one just called John? I mean,
Yes, I know. They've all got to be something special there. And we've got Andrew Perkers just popped in as well. So we've got 16 users in the channel chat room. I think we've got about 40 or 50 people probably watching at the moment on live, and we tend to have about 100 that watch the show afterwards. Oops, we had the power fluctuate then. Wouldn't that be great if the power just went off right now? Yeah, okay. So fingers crossed we don't get a power cut now. Otherwise we'll have to reboot everything and call you again, which will take a couple of minutes. I hope that doesn't happen. Right, so going back to the MOD and US... Hello? We've lost the internet over there. The internet's gone down. Bollocks. That blipped the fucking router. It'll come back up in a second. Ring him